Imagine this. You're sitting with friends, enjoying a conversation. Everything seems fine, but then someone says something that rubs you the wrong way. Maybe it's an unnecessary comment or a criticism that feels too sharp. You feel the urge to snap back, to defend yourself or your opinion. But deep inside, you know that responding might just make things worse. What if, instead of reacting, you chose silence? This is what Buddhism teaches us. There are moments when saying nothing can be the most powerful response. In today's video, we're going to explore 5 situations where silence is golden, inspired by Buddhist wisdom. These are moments when holding your tongue isn't just about avoiding conflict, but about finding peace within yourself and creating harmony with others. We've all been there. Someone says something that makes our blood boil. The anger rises quickly and our first instinct is to blow out. But Buddhism teaches us that anger is like a fire. When we feed it, it only grows. And the more it grows, the more it consumes us. Imagine this scenario. You're having a tough day at work. Everything seems to be going wrong and you're just trying to make it through. Then a colleague makes a sarcastic remark about your work. It feels like the last straw. You want to fire back, to say something that will put them in their place. But before you do, take a deep breath and remember this: anger clouds our judgment. When we speak out of anger, we're not thinking clearly. Our words can become weapons, causing more harm than good. By choosing silence in this moment, you give yourself time to cool down, to let the flames of anger die out. You might realize that what you wanted to say wasn't really necessary or helpful. Silence gives you the space to respond with wisdom instead of reacting with fury. In Buddhism, it's believed that anger doesn't just harm others, it harms ourselves. It disturbs our inner peace and keeps us from seeing things as they truly are. So, the next time you feel that anger rising, try to be silent. Let the moment pass, and you'll find that the peace you create within yourself is far more valuable than any argument you could win. We live in a world where information is constantly at our fingertips. It's easy to feel pressured to have an opinion on everything, to jump into conversations even when we're not fully informed. But Buddhism teaches us the value of humility and the wisdom of admitting when we don't know something. Picture this: you're at a dinner party, and the conversation turns to a topic you're not very familiar with. Everyone seems to have strong opinions, and you feel the urge to chime in, but deep down you know you're not really sure about the facts. It's tempting to say something just to fit in, but what if you choose silence instead? When we speak without knowing the full picture, we risk spreading misinformation or misleading others. In Buddhism, this is seen as a form of dishonesty, even if it's unintentional. Silence, in this case, is an act of integrity. It's a way of acknowledging that we don't have all the answers, and that's okay. By staying silent, you show respect for the truth and for the people around you. You also leave room for learning. Instead of speaking, you can listen, absorb information, and ask questions. This not only helps you grow, but also builds trust with others. People will see you as someone who values accuracy and truth over the need to always be right. In a world where everyone seems to have something to say, choosing silence when you're unsure can be a refreshing change. It's a reminder that it's okay to not have all the answers, and that sometimes the wisest thing we can say is nothing at all. We've all had moments where we've said something we wish we could take back. Maybe it was a harsh criticism or a joke that went too far. Once those words are out, though, They can't be taken back. They can leave lasting wounds, even if we didn't mean to cause harm. Think about this. You're with a friend who's just shared something personal and vulnerable with you. Maybe it's about a mistake they made or a fear they have. Your first thought might be to give advice or point out where they went wrong. But before you do, consider the impact your words might have. Will they help or will they hurt? Buddhism teaches us to practice mindfulness with our speech. This means being aware of the power our words hold. Words can heal, but they can also harm. In moments where our words might cause pain, silence can be a form of compassion. By choosing silence, you create a space where your friend feels safe and supported. Instead of offering criticism or advice, your silence can say, "I'm here for you, I'm listening." This kind of silence is powerful. It shows that you value their feelings and that you're more interested in being a supportive friend than in being right or giving advice. Sometimes the best thing we can offer someone is our presence, not our words. In these moments, silence isn't about avoiding the conversation, it's about honoring the emotions involved and choosing to be kind. Have you ever tried to talk to someone who just isn't ready to hear what you have to say? Maybe they're too angry, too upset, or too set in their ways to listen. In these situations, continuing to talk can feel like banging your head against a wall. No matter how carefully you choose your words, they fall on deaf ears. Imagine this: you're in the middle of an argument with a loved one. You're both upset, and emotions are running high. You try to explain your side, but it's clear they're not really listening. They're just waiting for their turn to speak. You start to feel frustrated, like you're not getting through. Buddhism teaches us that communication isn't just about talking, it's about understanding. And sometimes the best way to be understood is to wait for the right moment. If the other person isn't ready to listen, continuing to talk might only make things worse. It can escalate the situation and lead to more hurt feelings. In these moments, silence can be a way of respecting the other person's emotional state. It's a way of saying, "I see that you're not ready to hear this right now, and that's okay." By choosing silence, you give both yourself and the other person time to cool down. You create a space where understanding can happen when the time is right. This kind of silence isn't about giving up or backing down. It's about being patient. It's about waiting for a time when both of you are calm and ready to really hear each other. In the end, this can lead to a more meaningful and productive conversation. There are times when silence can say more than any words ever could. These are moments where the situation speaks for itself, and adding words would only reduce the impact. Consider this scenario. You're at a gathering, and someone makes an insensitive or harmful comment. Everyone hears it, and the room falls silent. In that silence, there's a powerful message, one that says, "This isn't okay." Sometimes, the absence of words can convey disapproval, disappointment, or even solidarity in a way that words cannot. Buddhism teaches us that there's a time for everything, and that includes a time for silence. In certain situations, silence can be a way of standing up for what's right without getting drawn into unnecessary conflict. It's a way of letting your presence, rather than your words, do the talking. This kind of silence requires courage. It's not always easy to resist the urge to speak, especially when you feel strongly about something. But in the right moment, silence can be a powerful act of non-verbal communication. It can be a way of showing strength, integrity, and wisdom. By choosing silence, you allow the situation to speak for itself. You give others the chance to reflect on what's been said or done, without the distraction of more words. And in doing so, you often make a stronger statement than if you had spoken up. In our fast-paced, constantly connected world, silence is often undervalued. We're encouraged to share our thoughts, to speak our minds, and to be heard. But Buddhism teaches us that there's great power in knowing when to stay silent. Silence isn't about passivity or weakness, it's about wisdom, mindfulness, and compassion. When we choose silence in moments of anger, we protect our inner peace. When we remain silent when unsure of the facts, we show humility and respect for the truth. When we hold our tongues to avoid causing harm, we practice kindness. And when we choose silence because the other person isn't ready to listen, we show patience and understanding. Finally, when we let silence speak for itself, we demonstrate strength and integrity. So, the next time you find yourself in one of these situations, remember the power of silence. It might just be the wisest choice you can make. Thank you for joining us on this journey of mindfulness and wisdom. If you found this story insightful, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Together, we can continue exploring the path to peace and awareness. Until next time, stay mindful,